Hello everyone, welcome to 𝗕𝗏𝗦 Academy. So let us continue our daily quiz. Today in this episode 13, we are going to look at questions from 121 to 130. So question number 121. Consider the following statements regarding the civil disobedience movement. So if you look at here, this is about the kind of a reasoning type. So we have a statement 1, then we have a statement 2, then we have to find which statements are correct, which one explains which one, like that. Okay, these are very common in civil service exam nowadays. So the question is, the 𝗕𝗏𝗦𝗖 salt satyagraha led by 𝗕𝗣𝗦𝗖 was significant event in southern part of India during the civil disobedience movement. It some way mirrored the Dandi March. Okay, so now this involved the breaking of the salt law by marching to the sea and collecting salt, highlighting oppressive nature of the British salt monopoly. So now pay attention to the options. Which are the options are correct? So both statement 1 and 2 are correct, and statement 2 is correct explanation for statement 1. Matlab 2 explains 1, that way. Now both statements are correct and 2 is not the correct explanation for 1. Statement 1 is correct, 2 is not correct. 1 is not correct, 2 correct. So which are these options are correct? Okay, so this is slightly a difficult type of question. So if you look at this question, what will be the correct answer? So if you look at the answer, the correct answer is B, right? Correct answer is B. That means what? Both statement 1 and 2 are correct, but statement 2 is not the correct explanation for statement 1. Statements both are correct, but this 2 does not explain statement 1. That is where the problem is. Why? So if you see, statement 2 does not explain why it was significant event in southern part of India. Its significance lies in its geographical context and its role also in galvanizing the anti-British sentiment in the south. Just not the breaking of the salt law. Okay, so that is not properly explained by the statement 2. Therefore, statement 2 is not the really correct explanation for statement 1. Question 122. The red shirt movement in India associated with Congress Socialist Party primarily advocated for which of the following? Immediate and complete independence from the British rule through non-violent means, establishment of a socialist state with state control over the factors of production, organizing the peasants, that is farmers and workers, for direct action and class struggle against the landlords and capitalists, formation of a constitutional monarchy with limited powers for the British Crown. So for which of the following the movement of red shirt movement started? So if you look at the correct answer, the red shirt movement basically was focused on answer number C, that is organizing the peasants and workers for direct action. Actually it is mostly with regard to the class struggle against the landlords and capitalists. That was the kind of a main focus. Okay, so if you see here, it sought to organize, it sought to organize peasants and workers to fight against exploitation by landlords and capitalists. That is the main focus. Therefore, the correct answer would be option number C. Question 123. Which of the following index are published by NITI? Because NITI Aayog regularly publishes a lot of index. Now, which of these are published by NITI? So, we have a India Innovation Index, State Health Index, District Hospital Index, SDG India Index, Gender Parity Index. So, we have 5 options. So, which options are correct? So, if you look at carefully, various index published by NITI Aayog, NITI does not actually publish the 5th one, Gender Parity Index, right? So if you look at here, the correct answer will be D, that is 1, 2, 3 and 4. That means the first 4. because NITI publishes 1 to 4, but the gender parity index, it is published by the UNESCO, right? That is the United Nations Educational, Scientific, Cultural Organization. This is part of Global Education Monitoring Report. So it is not published by the NITI Aayog, it is part of the United Nations. Question 124. Which of the following is are correct regarding the NITI Forum for Northeast India? Okay. So it was established in 2018. Now the problem here is, generally NITI meetings are chaired by the Prime Minister, but what about the NITI Forum for Northeast meeting? Is it chaired by the Prime Minister? Its main focus is to establish peace with neighboring countries. So which of these statements are correct with regard to the NITI Forum for Northeast, right? So if you look at carefully, it was established in 2018, that is so correct, but the problem is who will be chairing, so its meetings are chaired by the Prime Minister. Yeah, its main focus is to establish peace with the neighboring country. So the correct answer is C. That means statement only 1. Why? This forum is actually co-chaired. There are 2 chairpersons for this one. One is the Vice Chairman of NITI and also another person, Minister of State with independent charge from the donor ministry. And the third statement is also wrong, because the main focus of NITI Forum is economic development, find the difficulties in economic development. It has nothing to do with establishing peace with the neighboring countries, right? That is not the job of NITI Forum for Northeast. Clear? So only statement 1 is correct. Question number 125. Match the following schemes related to inclusive growth. Matlab sabka saath sabka vikas. So we have one side the schemes and their relation related to which of the target population or focus. Like we have a Rashtriya Mahila Kosh related to what? We have a PM Surakshit Matritwa Abhiyan, Poshan Abhiyan and Ujjwala. Now Ujjwala, there is a confusion because there are 2 names with a similar Ujjwala. So the correct answer is B. So Rashtriya Mahila Kosh actually deals with the micro credit to rural women. Pradhan Mantri Surakshit Matritwa Abhiyan actually deals with universal antenatal care. Poshan Abhiyan deals with pregnant and lactating mothers. Ujjwala focuses on prevention of trafficking and sexual exploitation, etc. Okay. So these kind of schemes related question, match the following, you might get in your exams, competitive exams, prelims exams as well. Just be familiar with the schemes and their focus. Question number 126. Which of the following will be the outcome if an economy is under inflationary pressure? Like a domestic currency faces depreciation if you have an inflation. Answer is B. Therefore, if you see, statement 1 is correct. Exports become less competitive because our things are very expensive. Okay, so then what happen? Nobody will like to buy from us, so our export will reduce. At the same time, import will become costlier, right? Import will become very costlier because rupee will depreciate. Cost of borrowing will fall? No, cost of borrowing will not fall because the rate of interest RBI will increase, right? So only, therefore, statement 1 and 2 are correct. Clear? Okay. Question number 127. Consider the following statements regarding the plate tectonics theory. Right? Recently we had a lot of earthquakes, so I thought of putting this in the question. So the lithosphere is divided into several rigid places, right? Plates. These plates float over the asthenosphere, and the asthenosphere is completely solid and immobile. So what do you think is the correct answer? Correct answer is A. Right? So the lithosphere is broken into rigid plates, and plates move over the semi-fluid asthenosphere, and it is not completely rigid. It behaves, very plastically because there is the movement, right? Therefore, we have a lot of tremors and earthquakes, etc. taking place also. Clear? So the correct answer is A. Question number 128. Consider the following statements regarding convective current theory. Now, when we talk about convective current theory, so let us look at the statements. It explains the driving mechanism behind plate movements. It was proposed to address the limitations of continental drift theory. It states that convection currents originate in the Earth's core only. You know, we have to be careful whenever we have this only kind of a statements. So the correct answer is only 1 and 2, right? Correct answer is only 1 and 2. The statement explains the driving mechanism behind the plate movements. It was proposed as an alternative, but it is not only the core, because convection currents mainly occur in the mantle, not just the core. Clear? So therefore statement 3 has some difficulty. So you can say statement 1 and 2 are correct. Question number 129. Related question, geography. Volcanoes are openings in the Earth's crust through which magma erupts. All volcanoes are located in plate boundaries. So this is a little technical part. The lava is a magma that reaches the Earth's surface. So here if you see statements only 1 and 3 are correct. Why? All volcanoes are located at plate boundaries. That is not correct, right? Because not all volcanoes occur at the plate boundaries, right? So we have a hotspot volcanoes like Haveli, right? So this statement number 2 therefore has a little difficulty. You can say statement only 1 and 3 are correct. Question 130. Which of the following best describes a hotspot volcano? Formed at convergent plate boundaries, formed at divergent plate boundaries, formed due to rising mantle plumes independent of plate boundaries. You know, that is the correct answer. Okay. So the question, if you see, which of the following best describes a hotspot volcano? It is formed due to rising mantle plumes independent of plate boundaries. Clear now? So that will be the correct answer. So the hotspot volcanoes are caused by mantle plumes which are not necessarily linked to the plate boundaries, right? We have like Mauna Loa. So there are many examples are there which you can look at that. So if you have any further query regarding MCQs or test series or any study material, you can contact Bhadra IAS Academy at 8638391721. So keep watching the quiz series. It will be very much useful for your any type of exam preparation. Thank you.